Try again. Yeah, very welcome to Weather Fans Live here on Sunday, the 16th of November 25. And I hope you all well. Just excuse me tonight. My voice is a bit ticklish, so I might end up coughing a lot. So I do apologise if I get interrupted with my coughing. I'm going to try and go as long as I can before my voice decides to go. Nah, can't do any more. Excuse me, here comes the first cough. So, yeah. Hope you're all well. What's been get more words out, which has been a very wet week, especially with the latest storm we had come through, which the names just slipped through my mind, which this is what I love about me at the minute. I'm just going to go through the chat and say good evening to you all. So the first person in was Anne Smith. I hope you are well. Next we've got Audio Coffee and Storm Chaser Louis Knowles. Hope you are all well. Good evening to Colby Taylor. Is it going to snow in West Yorkshire? We'll take a look at that this evening. Yeah, so we've got our mod Paul James in. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Paul. We'll just say that there is snow in the forecast for this week. That means it's going to miss the area for sure, but no harm for being ready for it, right? It's certainly going to be a lot colder than it has been recently. But also, it's been very warm, which I'll show the latest CET in just a moment. And good evening to our Rachel. Hope you are well. Happy birthday for yesterday, Rachel. 21 again, was we? Oh, my chat's just jumped. Yeah, and saying that weather forecast is 80% risk of snow for York on Wednesday night. So we'll take a look at the latest in a second. Also, got some different charts to look at tonight, so I'm just going to give them a go and see how they fare tonight. As to one Claudia, as it was named by the Spanish Met, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. Good evening to Laura. Good evening, Mark, and everyone. Very much half asleep, but here. Storm Claudia, possibly the worst storm this year. I might be wrong. For terms of rainfall, definitely is for rainfall. Obviously, we didn't have too much strong winds. There was some strong winds around, but nothing. We've had a lot stronger winds in the past, but this was mainly a rain event. Just probably the first May one since storm, I think about 2-3 years ago. Rachel was 21 again. We'll stay as that. So I don't want to be slapped tonight. So yeah, down the bottom of the chat there. So the first thing I will take a look at this evening is obviously it's been so mild recently, and the central England temperature has been sky high, as you can imagine, of how warm it's been recently. Let's just bring that on the screen. So the latest central England temperature, just make sure that's on the screen. Let's tap myself off there so you can all see it properly. So the CET provisionally up to yesterday is sitting at an incredible 11.8, which is an incredible 5.4 degrees above the average. And this 11.8 is even higher than what we had in October of 11.3. Just shows you how exceptionally mild it has been so far this November. But these will start to drop away for the rest of this week as that cold air starts to dig down. So I'm expecting perhaps this to drop down maybe to around about 10, maybe towards the back end of this week. We shall see indeed. And obviously with the warm, mild weather, we've also had a lot of flooding around. So I'm just going to flick over towards the environment. Why can I not speak anymore? The Environment Agency. At the moment, we have got 24 flood warnings in force and 66 flood alerts. So let's click into that. Let's have a look at the flood warnings. So they're quite scattered across the country at the moment. So we've got a couple here towards Norfolk. So isolated low-lying properties along the tidal River Waveney. And riverside properties include the tidal river, including Cantley, Brundell, and Reedham. There's another flood warning. The North Bank Road along the River Nene, east of Peterborough and west of the Dog in Doublet Sluice. We've got a couple up here into Yorkshire, the River Ouse at Nebben Lock, and at York as well. And I'm guessing we're looking at these. This could be along the River Severn, so let's have a little zoom in here. Well, there's actually one for the River Trent at Catton, Barton on the Newood, and Branston Water Park. And to be honest with you, that would have been fed up from our rivers. So that's just literally downstream. Our river has flooded here where I am in Tamworth. Because where I live, we get the two rivers meet. One that comes from Birmingham, which is the River Tame. And I'm actually where my property is, just down the bottom of the hill, about 30 meters away, less than that really. I get the River Anker, which flows from the Neaton, which some of these catchment areas perhaps from Leicester. But the wettest spot was just near Coville, which I think they had about over 70 millimeters during Friday with the storm that we had. Even myself, my weather station outside recorded, I think it in the end was about 52.8 millimeters through from Thursday evening about 10 o'clock through to about 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. So that's no surprise really we had flooding here, but let's go back to looking at here. So I think this is going to be like the River Severn, or the tributaries into River Severn. Excuse me again. So we've got the flood warning for the River Verme at Milesbrook, Mulberry as well. Then these are going to be feeding into the River Severn. So there's flood warning for the River Severn at Shrewsbury, Ironbridge and Jackfield, River Severn at Bridge North, Quatford, Hampton Load. So it's all literally along the River Severn. Got the River Tame at Bransford, which I'm guessing also feeds into the River Severn. So it's all the way along the River Severn. Which I'm guessing the walls will go straight out into the sea just there. And your flood alerts. Zoom back out again. A bit more scattered. Plenty around the Norfolk coast there. And obviously elsewhere scattered across the country. So exit the map. Come back there to 66 flood alerts. So I'm not going to go through it all because we're going to be here till about 10 o'clock reading through all these. I did read that right. The Bowen Piddle Brook. Oh, a bit of a strange name. So yeah, these are the flood watches. There's quite a few there for the River Severn there, in the Trent as well. So we've got the Suffolk as well down in East Anglia. And in the last 24 hours, 95 flood warnings have been removed. So your 24 flood warnings, as I mentioned, on the River Ouse, River Severn, and the River Vermey heading into the River Severn as well. Excuse me, I can. So thankfully now, there shouldn't be any more issue once these rivers start to recede. Obviously, some places are going to have that delay, especially down the River Severn in the next few days, when there could be still that risk of further flooding. But thankfully, there is no more added rain really to be talked about. Let's stop sharing there. Ooh. There's no more heavy rain to expect, but obviously the winds change direction from the north. You're going to see it. Perhaps a bit more precipitation, but nothing like we've just seen there. So I'm just going to put my head back into the chat and see what's happening. What did we get to? Yeah, exactly, Colby. Last time it was this mild in November, it was 2010, and we know what came after that. Who can forget what happened in 2010? Unless you wasn't born then, or very young at the time. That's why we call it December to remember. Give me a second, there's a tiny fly just flew onto the screen there. There we go. Good evening to Steffi. Took a while to get online, but managed to, in the end, that CT looks alarming. For now, yes, but that's going to drop considerably now. I think that should be the last of the very, very mild air we can receive for November. But I think this mild air was mostly triggered from Hurricane Melissa. As she progressed through the Caribbean and pushed her way up through the central Atlantic. Since she passed through, she was the one that seemed to pump up a lot of that mild southwesterly flow and just maintain that for the next couple of weeks or so. But as we know, the wind direction is considerably changing. Last time we had a rain event like that, Storm Claudia, was 2020 when Storm Dennis and Storm Kira and under 21 Storm Christoph, excuse me again. Oh, I do apologise for that. John, I cannot remember the storms at all. It's such a long time ago from my memory. I just remember what happened last week, I think. Yes, they were saying that I saw some flooding in West Leicestershire and near where you said too. Yeah, I think our river, just literally just the bottom of the road here, actually peaked, I think, this morning, and it should start receding now. Anne Smith saying the Foss Barrier is down in York, which protects my areas from the Ouse, which is currently very high. Let's just go back, actually. Let's have a look at the River Ouse and see if I can. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. Let's bring that back onto the screen. Excuse me. Right, let's bring that back on the screen for Anne Smith, because exactly what you just said there, I've got. Oh, that's the wrong button. Again, let's bring up full screen. So the River Ouse level up York Foss Barrier is sitting at 8.38 meters, and it's currently falling now. So it's already peaked. So that peaked at around about this morning at 8.47. What's actually been the highest mark there? So the highest there has actually been 10 meters. So not quite the highest, but very high still. The normal range there is between 5.05 meters and 7.9 meters. So it's above that. But thankfully for you, that starts to decrease right now. Oh, just come off there. Audio says she's still got ladybirds camping in her back door. I've not seen any for quite a few weeks now, to be honest. Well, let's stop showing that. Right, I think it's time to take a look at the charts. And we'll start off with the GFS. And this time we shouldn't have any issues with any adverts. Because my biggest pain in the backside recently is all the adverts that keep getting in the way of the screen. So what we've got here is the hourly GFS 12Z run. Make sure we're still live on there. Yep. So yeah, like the latest setup at the moment, we've got low pressure towards Iberia. We've got high pressure just south of Greenland and Iceland, and we'll start to see the winds change to a northerly, pushing that air of low pressure away from the UK. Fold the isobars right back. They're coming straight from the Arctic, and that's the reason why we're going to turn colder. And what you see there, forming just towards the southeast of Iceland, is a little area of low pressure starts to develop. And that's what will enhance the showers and perhaps see some maybe winteriness through this period. Still got heights, still got high pressure out towards the west, centered right about Iceland. We've still got these cold northerly winds coming down. And that low pressure goes to the low countries and through Thursday as well. That northerly flow is still established. Before that air of high pressure starts to sink further down, we'll start to cut off that northerly flow into this weekend. Then by the time we get into the end of Friday, our wind direction is changing, and we get the west-southwesterly back again. And looks like it turned unsettled as we headed through into next week. Perhaps a bit of a low developing there into the start of next week. Let's quickly run that through. And do we see any returns to cold with this run? No, looks like the southwesterlies take full control again with this model run. So it looks like this cold spell could be lasting for around about a week. Let's have a look at the upper air temperatures. Just give me a second. Sorry about that. That's I'm just trying to get my voice back then. I do apologise. So what we've got here is the A50s. So see how cold air is aloft. And currently we've got to -2, -3 coming across the country. And we'll start to see those blues arrive. So the 850. So my voice starts to really over it and just starts to struggle a bit. So do forgive me at the moment. So yeah, cold air in place across the UK. And then as we're going to Tuesday, we see that air of low pressure start to move down from the north. And tucked in behind is cold air yet again. Well, I've got the snow risk in just a second. So beyond that, seems to be a bit more cold air getting dragged down behind that little area of low pressure. And that cold air stays in place until we get into the weekend before we start seeing that mild air move back in across the country. And it looks like we've got weather front crossing the country into the early hours of Saturday. Right, I'm just going to try and find the potential snow risk for this. So it's just the new charts, which I've not used before, so I'm just trying to get into. Let's have a look at the UK snow depth. So what we're seeing here is the level where the freezing level is 0 degrees. And this is how many meters you need to be above to hit 0 degrees. Let's bring that forward to right now. So these are starting to drop across the country. Also, this is a snow depth forecast as well, experimental, of course, so don't take it too literal. This is the risk. So we're showing a little bit on the Scottish Highlands there through into Monday. And the country, all the country is below 900 meters, so you need to be above 900 meters to hit 0 degrees. And it's actually down to 600 degrees up to northern England. And it's into Tuesday, we start to see that area of low pressure start to move down. So we'll start seeing some snow affecting western Scotland there into Tuesday morning. Accumulated in quite a lot of there over towards Scotland. There's a few little pockets there forming there for the Peak District, sorry, the Pennines. So there could be some sleetiness there. And into the early hours of Wednesday, that system could produce some winteriness over the Pennines, perhaps into the Welsh Mountains. So the freezing level by the time we get into the early hours of Thursday morning is around about 200 meters. So parts of Scotland there seeing a good, especially with the Highlands there, a good covering there. There's no key with this, unfortunately. That could be up to 15, 20 centimeters of snow maybe for the Scottish Highlands. So the snow level isn't quite down to surface level in some areas. It's mostly over high ground. Then as we head into the weekend, we'll see that milder air. And we'll start seeing some of that snow start to melt as we head through into next week. Let's find the precipitation type. So this is where we are right now. So during tomorrow, we're looking mostly dry. Maybe a few showers in the north. It might dry again for Monday night, but the show maybe a few showers for some western areas there. And we have the Pennines going to Tuesday. And this is what I start seeing. This weather front move down from the north. Snow likely for many areas across Scotland. We need more high resolution than this. We'll take a look at the Met Office high resolution in just a few moments. So it's showing some snowfall there. Some winteriness from much of northern England to Wales, parts of the Midlands. Through into Wednesday morning. Excuse me again. And through into Wednesday, some wintry showers around. And there's a sign actually of a Premiership Angler perhaps forming there towards the west of Wales there. And also some showers could be affecting some eastern areas during Wednesday as well. And some of these could be wintry as they move a bit further inland, perhaps into the North York Moors. And this is when we get to Friday, we start to see that transition back into milder weather. And as the weather front comes through, we really expect to see any snow maybe for the tops of like the high ground of the Pennines, maybe the Welsh Mountains and into Scotland as well. So look at the temperatures before going to the high resolution. So there we are, the UK maximum temperatures. So we won't be seeing much of these double figures anymore. So during tomorrow, temperatures range from around about 2 degrees in Scotland down to about 7 degrees. Excuse me again. My voice just starts to struggle now, so I might have to wind this down a little bit. Unfortunately, so it starts to struggle to talk a bit actually. So into Tuesday, again temperatures range from around about 0 in Scotland, -1 over the Highlands, and to about 6 or 7 down in the south. Through into Wednesday, actually look above harsh frost over Scotland, showing temperatures perhaps down to -10, maybe where that snow is falling. Cross country range and temperature ranging from around about -2 over the Scottish Highlands down to perhaps minus. That's about 3 or 4 down towards the south, maybe 7 then towards the East Anglia. Into Thursday, again another quite chilly day. Temperature range from about -3 in the Scottish Highlands to around about 3 or 4. So it's going to be quite a cold day on Thursday. Friday, again, going to be quite another cold day before that mild air starts to move in from the west. So again, ranging from about -1 to about 5 degrees down the southeast on Friday. And we'll start to see that mild air move in from the west. Temperature again ranging from around about 2 degrees over Scotland and down to about 10 degrees down along the south coast. If we go back to the minimum temperatures, for many areas, it could be the first time they will see a frost this autumn. If I can find the temperatures. There we go. So it's overnight tonight. Temperature ranging from about -3 once further Scotland down to about, excuse me, down to about 4 or 5 down the southeast. And overnight into Monday into Tuesday. It's like a widespread frost is likely. Temperatures range from about -4, -5 in Scotland, and perhaps around about 2 or 3 down into the capital. So we're looking at where it's widespread frost for the first time this season, really. Tuesday into Wednesday. Going to be a lot more cloud around due to that system starts to move down from the north. So perhaps over the snowfields of Scotland, -10s possible. Then perhaps down to about 2 or 3 degrees down towards the south. And into Thursday morning, looking at another widespread frost, about -10 over the Scottish Highlands. Looking perhaps -1, -2, many areas across the country to Thursday morning. And again, under clear skies, temps will be dropping away. Could even be colder on Friday morning. Temperatures could be widely down to about -2, -3. Some places over the Pennines, perhaps down to about -6, -7, and around about the same over the Scottish mountains. Right, I'm going to stop that there. My voice is really struggling right now, as you can probably hear. Excuse me again. I'm going to cut this live a bit short because I'm starting to struggle to, as you can probably hear, my voice starts to struggle a bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go straight on to our look at the ECMWF weekly anomaly charts. Let me just get them up in a second. Ooh. I had something else ready to show you, but I'm not going to show them right now. Right, we'll have a look at our weekly look at the ECMWF weekly anomaly charts. And I think I have to end the live there because I'm struggling getting my voice right now. Okay, the weekly mean anomalies from the ECMWF. As we've already know, high pressure out towards the west, low pressure out towards Central Europe. If I brought that on the full screen, let's have a look. Let's take myself off there. Right, where's that? Right, we've got high pressure out towards the west, low pressure out towards Central Europe, and high pressure out further. So we've got a bit of a low pressure sandwich over in between. Winds come down from the north, then through next week. We've got low pressure over the UK, high pressure towards the south. We're back to the westerlies there for this time period. Then a change again into the 1st December through to 8th December. High pressure out towards our west slightly, and could be dragging the winds down from the north again. That could be turning things cooler. Another change, 8th December towards the 15th. We've got low pressure over the UK that'll begin bringing us a mild southwesterly flow. And again, for the 15th December towards the 22nd, we're looking at a westerly, and same again over Christmas week as well. Same charts, but we're looking at precipitation. So the 17th of November through to the 24th, looking drier than average, perhaps obviously wetter on the east coast where we've got these showers likely to form. The 24th to the 1st of December looking wetter than average, and the 1st December to the 8th is looking drier than average. Then we're looking around about average for the 8th to the 15th. So, excuse me again. I'm looking slightly wetter, 15th to the 22nd December. I'm looking a bit drier than average for around Christmas as well. And finally, we'll have a look at the 2-meter temperatures for the same ones. So we've not seen this for a while. For this week, we're looking at temperatures. I'm in the third one there, so I'm looking at temperatures between 3 and 6 degrees below average for much of the UK, including Western Europe as well, actually. So it's not just the UK, it's Western Europe. But next week, we're looking back above average. And same up the 1st December through to the 8th, we're looking above average, looking around average for the 8th to the 15th. And through Christmas week as well, we're looking about average. Right, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to cut the live a bit shorter than I'd like to. As you can hear, my voice is struggling right now. I just hope it's nothing to start of something like I had a few months ago, about a month or so ago, where I wasn't well for a good week or so. So again, apologies. I'm going to end the live a little bit earlier than normal, and hopefully by next week I should have my voice back to normal. So yeah, this coming week, as we know, temperatures are dropping away back to where, well, I was going to say back to normal what it should be, but it's actually going to be a bit below than what we've been used, below what this should be this time of year. There's going to be some winteriness around, mostly over high ground, but we'll keep you posted either between here or I'll see some perhaps on Gav's Discord as well. I'll try and get my head in there as well more often when I can. Again, apologies for cutting this short tonight. My voice is saying, nah, not tonight. I'm going for God's sake, I'm talk about this. So thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you next week at 8 p.m. And thank you to our mods as well, giving our proceedings. Just get this again. And just before I go, I know what. I'll just turn my background off. I know if you're thinking, where are the little kitties? And I've actually got Stormy beside me. So let's just bring her down there. So there she is, curled up. And I've got the other cat beside me as well. So there's the other cat there on the other table. So there they both are. So thank you all for watching. That's why I have a background on, because I've got stuff behind me. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you next week, hopefully with more voice. Yay, cats. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.